화면을 잘 찍는 것 같아. 느낌 있어.
진짜 좋아지시면 애들 도전 다시? 안 하려고. 지민 가자.
지민 나 먼저 씻어?
내리면 되는 것 같은데 지민?
원래 지민.
지민. 지민.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Jikook Diaries channel. Imagine if everything we believed about Jikook was only half the story. When the cameras are off, when the stage is empty, and when the world spotlight is on us. Are Jimin and Jungkook growing closer, or slowly drifting apart? One rumor says they're living together. Another rumor says Jungkook is ignoring Jimin. And amidst the chaos, one name has once again rocked the fandom: Yoonmin. Tonight, we'll unpack it all, without filter, without illusion. Jikook rumors are exploding again, and this time it's even more heated, more confusing, and more painful for many fans. On one hand, there are whispers that Jimin and Jungkook are actually living together, sharing the same space, the same life, even the same routine away from the spotlight. But on the other hand, a conflicting narrative has emerged. Jungkook is starting to ignore Jimin, distancing himself, and seemingly severing the emotional connection that seemed so strong for years. Amidst this chaos, another question has emerged, sparking a long debate. Is Yoonmin real, or just an illusion born of misinterpreted moments? Rumors about Jikook living together are nothing new, but lately the speculation has felt more intense. Many fans have begun connecting seemingly insignificant clues, but when put together, they look like interlocking puzzle pieces. Similar room interiors appearing in the background of live broadcasts, all too familiar camera angles, personal items seemingly moving from one content to another, and schedules that seem to align despite the two rarely being seen together in public. All of this raises a big question. Are they really sharing the same space? Or is this just a coincidence exaggerated by overly hopeful fans? But as the rumors of their relationship intensified, a wave of disappointment also emerged. Some fans felt Jungkook seemed colder toward Jimin. Once spontaneous interactions now felt restrained. Once full gazes were perceived as empty by some. Jungkook, who was usually responsive, now seemed silent. Jimin, who was usually the center of Jungkook's attention, now seemed to be standing alone. This is where the narrative of Jungkook ignoring Jimin began to grow and spread rapidly, triggering mixed feelings of anger, sadness, and confusion. But is it true that Jungkook is ignoring Jimin? Or are we just seeing a small fragment of a much more complex reality? Jungkook is known for being a person who has changed over time. He's no longer the innocent magne who always clung to his hyung like he once was. He's a grown man with burdens, responsibilities, and a different way of expressing emotions. When Jungkook chooses to remain silent, it doesn't mean he doesn't care. When he keeps his distance in front of the camera, it doesn't mean those feelings are gone. Could be the opposite, he's protecting something too precious to show. Jimin is no different. Many have said he seemed more sensitive, more cautious, even more alone lately. But for those who really pay attention, there's a new strength within Jimin. He appears more mature, more stable, and more aware of his position. While Jimin used to be Jungkook's emotional support, their relationship may now be in a more balanced, calmer phase, and no longer in need of public validation. Amidst the heated Jikook narrative, Yoonmin's name has resurfaced, sparking division among fans. Some see Jimin and Yoongi's closeness as evidence that Jimin has moved on. Their warm interactions, consistent support, and seemingly natural comfort have led some fans to believe that Yoonmin is more than just a friend. But the question is, does that closeness automatically negate Jikook? The relationships between the BTS members have always been complex and layered. Yoongi is calm, mature, and able to provide a safe space for Jimin. It's no surprise that Jimin feels comfortable around him. But comfort doesn't always equate to romance. In a group dynamic like BTS, emotional closeness is often misinterpreted, especially when fans are looking for a replacement for something they feel is fading. What's often forgotten is that Jikook's relationship was never built on big, flashy moments. Instead, its strength lies in the small details, in recurring habits, in a consistent, though not always obvious, presence. Jikook is all about subtle body language, about silences that speak, about attention that isn't always announced. When a relationship as they enter a more private phase, it's understandable that many people feel lost.
진짜 와 둘 다 그냥 코 골고 난리 났었는데 우리.
결국 잠들었다. 그거 어떻게 못해요?
Social media exacerbates this situation. Short video clips, contextless screenshots, and twisted narratives spread faster than clarification. Algorithms don't care about truth. They only care about reactions. The more controversial a rumor, the more widely it spreads. This is where many fans fall into a trap, believing stories built on assumptions, not facts. If we step back and look at the bigger picture, one thing becomes clear. Both Jimin and Jungkook are going through crucial phases in their lives. They are developing as individuals, not just as part of a particular duo or ship. Changes in the way they interact aren't signs of failure, but rather growth. Mature relationships aren't always public, aren't always visible, and aren't always easily understood by outsiders. The questions of whether they're living together, whether Jungkook is ignoring Jimin, or whether Yoonmin is real may ultimately have no answers we can know for certain. And perhaps that's the way it should be. Not everything needs to be explained. Not every relationship needs to be confirmed. There's a fine line between what they want to share and what they want to keep hidden. What matters most is how we as fans choose to respond. Will we continue to pressure, demand, and judge based on snippets of the story? Or will we give space, trust, and respect to two people who have given so much emotion and honesty to the world? The Jimin rumors may explode today, and they may subside tomorrow, only to resurface in a different form. But one thing no rumor can erase is the history, connection, and bond that have been built over the years. Whether they live together or not, whether they appear close on camera or not, the real feelings won't disappear just because we no longer see them. And perhaps therein lies the hardest truth to accept. That not all love needs to be announced. Not all closeness needs to be proven. And not all relationships have to live up to our expectations. Sometimes, the most real are the quietest. Ultimately, Jimin and Jungkook's story isn't one that can be simplified to right or wrong, real or fake, together or apart. It's the story of two souls growing under the pressures of the world, learning to love, care for, and understand each other in their own ways. We may not always see them standing side by side. We may no longer be treated to the same candid moments as before. But mature love isn't always noisy. Jikook doesn't live to meet anyone's expectations. They live to survive, to thrive, and to protect what's most precious to them. If Jungkook chooses to remain silent today, perhaps it's because he's guarding. If Jimin seems to be walking alone, perhaps it's because he's strong enough to do so. And if they no longer give us answers, perhaps it's because some things just weren't meant for public consumption. As fans, our job isn't to force the story to fit our desires, but to respect their journey. Because the most genuine relationships often don't need proof. They don't live on rumors, don't breathe on gossip, and don't die just because they're rarely seen. If one day Jimin and Jungkook choose to show the world their version, we will see it. And if they don't, that doesn't erase what was there. Because Jikook isn't about viral moments, not about video clips, not about the most outspoken theories. Jikook is about feelings that endure, even when the world stops watching. Thank you for watching until the end. If you still believe that not all love needs to be announced to be real, don't forget to stick around. Because this story isn't over yet.